Yeah, man, that's good. Um, the last series we're gonna cover for part one, for our playoff preview. We have the Warriors and the Kings. The Kings are back in the playoffs, man. They apparently sold out tickets, man. That place is gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild, man. I'm excited to see it. Sacramento.
17 years in the making, dog.
17
years.
years.
They hadn't been in the playoffs since 2006.
Yeah. Right now, they're favored by one right now to win the game tomorrow. But as far as the series, I feel like most people are gonna pick the Warriors. I feel like most people are. But oh no. Oh no, man. You got De'Aaron Fox, one of the most clutchest players all season. Clutch player of the year, right? Telling you right now.
Yeah.
Clutch player of the year. Sabonis. Mike. You got Mike Brown. Who knows the Warrior system?
That's true. Right? Yeah.
He knows Steve Curry. He knows what they're gonna do. So that gives you an entire advantage right there.
Yeah.
And the Warriors have not been great on the road. That's been a narrative all season. They've been terrible on the road. So
true.
With and without Steph Curry. The difference right now, Andrew Wiggins is back. And a lot of people are putting stock into him. True, and Wiggins was a factor in the playoffs last year, especially in the finals. He showed up in a huge way. Right?
Absolutely.
But is that enough to fix all the issues that we've been seeing and the habits that we've been seeing throughout the course of the season? I don't know. Can they literally flip a switch to turn it on? I don't know. It's like, I think for being given the benefit of the doubt, we can. But there's a reason that they literally fought at the last minute to get into the playoffs. Like, for real. There's a reason for that. We all thought the Kings would eventually slide back down, but they never did. They showed up. And yeah, I even though the Warriors won the head-to-head matchup, I know they won the head-to-head matchup.
Yeah.
Trying to see if I actually want to say this or not.
Say what you feel, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I actually want to say this.
Be known.
Because it's like part of me, it's like something in me is not letting me say it. Like, okay. It's like, would I be surprised if the Warriors lose? No.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go out on a limb, man. I'm gonna go for the Kings. I'll say Kings.
Okay.
And it's gonna be. I don't get disrespectful this way either. I say Kings in 6, but I'm gonna say Kings in 7.
Oh man.
No, I'm gonna say Kings in 7. Because they're so trash on the road. That's the thing, man.
They have not had a good road record this year.
That's the thing. That's why I was like, I'll be at least giving that. Like, yeah, I'll say Kings in 7.
Okay.
I'm so against the grain for everybody to hear that. But
I'm not mad at that, though. I'm honestly not mad at that. I too am I'm excited for this series. I'm really excited for the Kings because, like I said, it's been a long time since we've seen them in the playoffs, and for them to have home court advantage in today's NBA, like when we started talking about the Kings earlier in the season, early in the season, we're like, oh, they're gonna be the Kings. They're just gonna be a team in the NBA, but these guys were one of the best teams to watch, like really like locked in this year, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy for De'Aaron Fox, who's been out there for years, man, just playing, trying to get there. But he's there. He's got a squad. I think they're gonna put on a show. I hope they put on a show for these fans. That's gonna be dope. But I think it's gonna be a tough series to win, even with how the Warriors have struggled on the road. And this is why. Even though they have Mike Brown, who knows the system, they have good players, and Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox.
I like the depth. Keegan Murray.
Like they
Sean
have
Nye is a rookie. Yeah, I like him.
they have a really good team, and they can build on their success from this season as well, I think. But when I look at the Warriors, and even though they've had some issues, they've had some problems, they've had a lot of guys out at different points in the season. With them having Wiggins back, that makes a difference. I'm not going to say he's going to push them over the edge, but what I will say is that this Kings team is still very young. They really haven't. I don't know if they have anyone who's really had playoff experience besides their coach. And even though Mike Brown knows the system, it's hard to really like stop Steph Curry and Klay Thompson from getting these shots, because you know they're going off these screens. But what happens? They're still getting to these shots. They're still getting the most open looks for most of the time that they get shots. So the experience with the Warriors, I can't deny. They just came off a championship as well. They're really still in that type of mindset where I think they know that they can turn it on. They probably should have done that during the regular season, but I think that they have enough still to at least advance. I think the Warriors are a dangerous squad in the playoffs. Like the Warriors playoffs versus regular season, they're just a little more locked in than a lot of teams. So I'm still gonna say Warriors, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be at least 6, probably 7 games, because I like the Kings squad, and I root for them too, because I would love to see the story of how they went from not making the playoffs for years, being the number 3 seed, and potentially knocking off the reigning champs. That would be a crazy story, but I can't deny the greatness of the greats of Steph and Klay, Dre. They got one of the best 2-way players in not Jordan Poole, but Andrew Wiggins, and Jordan Poole is also a factor. So I think they.
Let me throw this at you though. Okay. Wiggins just came back. Do you think he had time to adjust to the proper conditioning to come back and play in the playoff game, which is like heightened and more intense? Do you think he has enough? Do you think he's conditioned enough for that? Because he was out for a long time.
Yeah,
that is a factor. It takes some time to adjust.
Yeah,
that's point number 1. Point 2, real quick. We've seen Steph Curry have 50-point games and lose.
Yeah,
we've seen that this season. So I'm just saying, they can score all you want, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like their defense.
Yeah,
it's just defense, man. So
yeah, I have no doubt that they're gonna have a hard time stopping De'Aaron Fox and getting in the lane. Sabonis is also a master of playmaking with the ball. So defensively, it's gonna be interesting to see how they adjust. But to answer your point about Wiggins, he has been working out even though he's been out away from the team. I know that he's been conditioning at least. I don't know how much or where he is with it.
But we both know it's like a difference. You can work out, but it's a difference like in like the in game.
Yeah.
In game condition. So and then the playoff atmosphere like that, I don't know if he has enough time. Then again, they could have been having some high intense practices, and I never know. I don't know what they're doing right now. So maybe we could see. Now just those 2 things. I'm just putting it out there.
Hey, those are good points.
So you still on your same stance? Then
I'm gonna say Warriors in 7. I'm sticking with Warriors in 7 because I feel like it's gonna be a hard fought series, no matter what. And like you said, the Warriors do have some holes that they have needed to fill. They haven't really gotten that second half of the season. So it's going to be interesting. But I think they have that championship DNA. They just have the experience over these guys. And I feel like if you go into this as a young Kings team, feeling yourself number 3 seed, oh, we can beat these guys, whatever. They can't play defense. The playoffs are different. That experience, that momentum can change quickly.
True.
So I can't deny the champs. I can't deny.
I hear you all that too, but at the same time, I feel like everyone's picking the Warriors. You don't think the Kings feel some type of way about that too? That gives them an extra chip on their shoulder. Like, I feel like that's gonna motivate them even more. So, I mean, it's very true. I'll say this though. Part of me picking this is because I don't believe, at least I haven't seen. This is the same Warriors team that we saw last year. Jordan Poole is not the Jordan Poole last year. Like, you've seen that. Klay Thompson's not the Klay Thompson of last year. He had some good showings this past season, but like reminiscent of like old Klay.
Yep.
Prime Klay, but yes, man. And Draymond Green, not been the same Draymond Green, I could argue, for the past couple seasons. So like, those are some of your core pieces.
Yeah.
And I ain't get started on Kuminga. He had a nice end to the season this past season. Like, he had a nice end into it. But still, is that someone you can really rely on like that? I trust Steph Curry. I'm not saying this. I'm not picking the Kings because I don't believe Steph Curry doing his thing. Like, I believe Steph will do his thing. That's the one person I can't rely on. It's everybody else I'm not sure about.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't know. If Jordan Poole shows up and does his thing, and Klay Thompson, I'm like, okay, yeah, Kings, y'all ain't got a shot. Like, it'll probably be a sweep. Like, but because I haven't seen that this season, that's why I'm like, the Kings have a shot, and they can actually win it. So that's why I'm picking.
There's always a shot. Yeah,
that's always that's true. But you know, it'd be different. It was like a Warriors team from last year. You know, everybody would be like, yeah, they about this one.
Absolutely.
They wouldn't even be in this position. They'll be in like a higher seed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the main reason. And if they show up, I'd be like, okay, it's that type of series. I'm wrong. So, but I just don't see it. I don't think Wiggins is going to be that much of a factor early in the series. If the Kings can catch him early and win one game on the road, that's it. That's a wrap for me. Even they don't win the game on the road, they got home court advantage.
It's true.
So it's like the math works for me too. So it's like we have to see.
Yeah,